So we were just discussing that we'll be starting something called web parts today. So now first point is, what is a web part? Now web part is nothing but different zones in page. You can create different zones in page to show different different things in a one single page. Let me take an example of Facebook again. So in Facebook you can see something like profile, right? In a same page you can see some ads, right? You can see something like some help to send requests of friends. You can see some direct links here for photos, videos and all, right? So those are nothing but different zones of a page, or different parts of a page, or different web parts of a page. Fine. So what you are getting is, you are accumulating each and every data and you are arranging in one page in different zones, like understandable zones, where now you will be clear that in Facebook the middle area will be always for live feed. So whoever updates some photo, comment or upload a video, you will be getting live feed. So that web part is to continuous buffer of something, right? In the same way you will be getting continuous ads, right? And you will be seeing something like, here there will be a strip which is menu strip. Go to home or search for a friend and all. So that is nothing but different web part, right? So basically web part is nothing but arranging different contents of data in different zones but in one page. Fine. Now let us see how we can do that actually. So for creating web part, which means I want to create something called a page here again, right? Which is, I have a page. Now let me create a page once, or let me go back. Let it corporate collection accounts. Okay, let me in corporate collection. Okay, let me go back and create one new site. Right? Okay, let us take something else now. Blog. I'll be explaining blog workspace and all. Let me take some such space. Let me take something called web parts sample page. Something. Okay, the same thing here.
Sorry, that
Yeah, Mama.
it sounds like you're talking from.
I'm sorry.
Your voice was like really low, so I wasn't able to hear.
Okay. Is it still low?
No, it has got better. It was like you were talking from very far away. So
Okay. Fine. I think it's fine now because I'm using my headset, so I'm not using my laptop's mic. Okay, it should be fine now, right? So
okay,
now,
Maybe because they are using
sorry.
I can hear you.
Okay, you guys can hear me.
You can use
Yes,
one only otherwise because
I can
I'm
hear
okay
you.
with that also. If you
Okay,
use
I'm
that.
using my headset mic only, right? I'm using only one
Oh,
mic.
okay.
Fine.
Okay, then
Right.
okay.
So can you see here? We just created a sample, sample page here. With I just wanted
Yeah.
to show you something like, I just that's why I just selected something called team site, right? In team site you can see this team thing, right? Again, all these things are nothing but different parts. So how we can go for this edit? So I can go to site actions, edit page, right? So
Yes.
can you see here? Let it load. Now can you see each and everything is called as a web part. So this is one web part, right? And in the same web part we have something else called this, and this separate web part here. This separate thing, right? So in the same way we can have, you can see here that they have provided some quick launches here, they have provided some image here, right? In the same way they have something called share documents and something else. They again have some quick launch, right? So these things are nothing but your web parts. Fine. So now let us see how to create a web part for our own site, which is, we were working on something called info. What is that? Info Institute, right? Let us use the same, right? Now So in order to add a web part, you have to go for, if you are trying to do some change in your page, you have to go back to site actions and edit page. Now can you see this? When you try to edit your page, it will automatically show to actually add a web part. Fine. Now let me select. So now we have, I hope you guys now are clear with, we have something called pictures here, we have something called IT doclib here, right? We have some lists here. Let us see how we can arrange them in our page. Fine. Let me click on this left part, click on this add a web part, right? Now can you see here, you can see each and every list here, batch, course, faculties, we have created all these things, right? And content roll up, we have something called forms, we have something called media and content, right? Now for that, let's go back to libraries and let us say I want to add the courses here, right? Let me select this and add. Can you see here, all your courses got added into your page. Now let me go back here and click on, I want to add one more web part here. Click on this, let us say I want all the batches to be shown, add, right? You got all the batches, right? Let me add one more part, web part. Let us say I want all the faculties, add, right? Can you see here? Let me, so if you are done with, adding all thing, you have to do something called stop editing. Let me stop edit. Now can you see here, you can see courses, you can see faculties, you can see something called batches, right? You have everything at one place, right? So now if you feel that this is some cumbersome, you can also do this. Let us say let's go back to edit again. Like how to go back to edit again, go to site actions and click on edit page. You will get something called edit, right? So now if you don't want your faculties to be here, right, just click on here and drag. See, can you see here, I got my faculty at starting, right, where I got my courses at below, right? If you don't want this to be at top, just drag and keep in next item. Can you see, now you have your courses, batches and faculties. Fine. Now let me just go back to info institute. Now can you see, now you have all the courses. So we are talking about lists now, right? You have all the course list, you have all the faculties list, and you have something called batches list. So this is nothing but you have added each and everything in your page itself, right? You have everything here, right? So this is nothing but a web part. You have added a web part which is a list, course list here, separate web part here, and separate web part in here. Fine. And now let us say you don't want, if you don't want this web part again, right, you can go back to page, edit page, right, and click on this web page, right, just say delete. Let me just delete so that it will be more clear now, right? Oops. Oh, we just deleted something else, not a problem. Fine. So let me add a web part of which is batches and add, right, and let me say stop editing. Now it's more clear now, right? So these are courses and these are batches. So where you can see directly here we have something called courses and batches, right? Now let me do something with document library. Now we have seen something list here, right? Now let us say I want to add one more document called IT document lib. I want to add it here. Now again same thing, go to edit page. Now I want to add part here, so for that click on add web part. So in document libraries you have something called doclib. Click on this and add, right? You got your document library here. Now we want this document library below the batches, just go drag and drop. Can you see here, and stop editing. Now we have seen that our courses is here, batches here, and for the batches you can get all the documents, related documents. Fine. So in the same way, you can add anything into your web part. Fine. And now let us see what actually the content is here. Now, so in the courses, let us say how many items we have. One, two, three, four items now, right? Android, C sharp, and all. Now let us go to the list here and let us add one more item here. Let us see what happens. Right. So I went to the list here, courses. I'm not touching anything in web part. Web part is here. Info Institute is a web page where I've added all the web parts like courses, batches, and live. Let me go to the particular one which is courses, and let me add a new item, right? And let me add something called, I want to add something called ASP.NET, right? Where it will take around some, let me say 50 hours, right? And let us say I have this is ASP.NET course, right? And I'll say 1, I'll be taking about some oops, 2 MVC, right? 3 ASPX pages, something like 4, let me just call it as some events, right? Some topics, and just say this. So now let me color it up with bold and some color like something, and say oops, yeah. So here you have to give something called fees. Okay, let me give us some $500 just to say. So what we did is, we have already added a web part, which is nothing but your codes, right, in your info institute, and we came to separate list which is courses, and I've added some other codes, right? Now let us go back and see what happens to page. Can you see here? It directly links to the same content whatever you add there. Fine. It directly adds up there. Now we have one more add new item. Can you see here? This add new item is for again this list. Let us see what happens. Let me just add new item here, right? And let us say, or what I'll do one thing, I'll delete one item here. Let's go click on this and delete item. Let's say okay. So I've deleted something called Android option from my list which is in web content, right here. Now let us go back to courses. What happens? Let us see. Can you see it? It is directly, it will directly edit from your content itself, right? So that's how we interactively work, which means I'm using different things directly here, and here I can directly add an item which will directly hit your master list in the same way. Fine. Now let us do something in here. Let us say this is my codes here, right? So let me change the view of this, which is, how can I change a list view? Select on a list and I can say modify view, right? And I can say modify view here. So in a modify view, what I want to do is, I don't want to show overview. Let us say click on modify view. Yeah, it will take to this, it will take to that particular list, okay, courses list. And now let us say I don't want to show overview, right? Overview on this, click OK. Now I can see only my codes, duration, and fees, right? And this is my web parts again. Let's go back and see what happens in courses. Can you see this? Right? Which means we have created a view only for this part of page, right? Which means the view whatever we have created, like we have edited some modified, we have modified some default view that will be applied only for that particular view and not to the default view. This is the default view of particular list here, and when we go here, this is the default view of the web part. Fine. If you are, which means the summary is like this. If you are touching something data in a list, which is that you can touch directly in a web part or individually, both will be, both will be affected, because like, which means, if you delete something here, it will be deleted from there. If you add something here, it will be added there. But views are something wherever you change, only the effect will be till that view, right? And its parent view will never be changed. right?
Alright.
Yeah, in that way. So now so that is a view, and we have seen something called how actually we can add again. If I have something here, I can directly add one more thing directly from itlib, right, which is browse. Let me just browse it up. Let me add one something new to some txt, right, and we just uploaded that into this presentation, right? So in the same way it was doc it lib. So we have just seen a data part in list, right? We can also add something called doc here, right? Let us see what happens here. If you go to it doc lib, you can see here, right, the same document being added here, which means the data works in parallel, or it will be in sync with your in the end component and the web part. Fine. So that is one part which you have to take care. Again, let us say from here itself I want to change a view. Like I'll take a batches here. Let me just you can edit something from here itself. Let me just go click on this. You have something called edit web part, right? Click on this. Now can you see here, you will be getting something like this. This is a quick edit form, right? I selected something called batches, which is a list. It gave batches, list view, and a quick select of something. Let us say I want to change view, edit current view, right here is the edit current view, and here what I want is I want to change it to something like I don't want course duration, let us say, right? Let me click on OK, right? You can directly do that from here. So which is nothing but click on this and edit web part here, or you can minimize. What is minimize mean? Can you see minimize? Let me minimize everything. You can just click on this minimize and click on this minimize. If you have so many other things, right, you can just minimize and click on this, right, and restore. You'll be getting back whatever you want. You can just see you have everything been minimized. And if you try to close it up, let's see what happens when you close it. Let me close this up. Can you see? Which means you have removed that web part from that page. Fine. So that is how it works in here. Let me just go back to site pages, edit page, and let me get back that add web part, right? So under libraries I want something called it.doclib and add, right? Someone got disconnected. Okay, fine. And here, so what I want is I want my doclib at end, right? So now stop editing. Fine. So this is how we actually work with the default whatever you have created, right? We have created the same thing in here, right? So that's how we work. Now let us see how we can work with custom ones here, which is again custom ones in the sense whatever we have created we have just arranged here. That will be more than enough anyways, right? Because you just wanted to show in a page like info institute, right, where you want to show what are the courses you have, right, what are the batches you have, and like what are the different documents you can provide it, codes, like what exactly is being taught here and all, right? So this page is more than enough. Let us say I want to give some more info on this, like custom. Again, go to something like site actions edit page. I'll show you one component. Okay, let me go back and click on add, right? So list, so whatever we have added will come in all these things, but let us go to media and content, and you have something called content editor. It says allow authors to enter a rich text, right? You can see here, right? So let me add that up and let us see what happens. So it will give you an option to create some paragraph or do something in here where you can actually type in there. So now it got added here, right? Can you see this content editor? Let me click on this. If you want to add something in here, which is let me click here to add content, right? When you click on that, right, now you can see here you can directly edit. Like I'll say welcome to info, right, institute. Fine. and you can directly edit here using this. I'll just say some color, something. Let me take a contrast color, some this, right? You can increase this font, and you can have something here, right? And go back to page and stop editing. Now can you see this? It's like basic, basic thing where you can create something in here, right? And this content is actually for writing some information about, like, about us type of thing, like, which is uh, like this, like, let me just minimize it down to 10, like, welcome to Info Institute, like, just our mission is to make you lead your career, something career in some IT field, just one some field, right? And just some blah 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 something, right? And just say page and stop writing, right? So this is nothing but your so you're writing something about your info editor, which means you are creating web part on fly. Fine. I have not created this before, but what I am doing is I am just creating something on fly. Just click on Info Institute again, you will be seeing much clear one, right? Content editor is something you have added something in here, right? And batches you have got, courses you have got, doc library you have got. Fine. So this is nothing but your how actually we add web parts to your page, and how actually we work with this. Again, for adding, again I'm just saying that if you have a page, you can go to site actions, edit page, right? So from this point on, whatever you see is nothing but a web part. Each and everything is nothing but a web part, and this web part is a very it was a good good configuration thing being given by Sharepoint, and it's very useful for creating designing your web pages in different ways, right? So I'm just showing you whatever we have used. I'll be teaching upon how to add different web parts, advanced web parts, using something like direct adding from here, or direct adding from your .NET and all, right? So I'll be showing you that. So you have any doubts still here? I mean, how, what is a web part, and how differently we create a web part here, right?
Yeah, Srinath,
Yeah.
Yeah.
question.
Can you
Because
just
I just
please show
when
me
you were in
this
the beginning when
content
you were
editor
explaining, I
once
missed
again?
that part. So to
Where
open
we
to
have
add web parts,
One sec, one sec. I'm sorry. Two. I mean, two guys are talking at same time. Actually, can you just
oh
one sec, one sec. Vishaka, can you just that's
okay.
why I asked you to. Can you, Vishaka? Can you just sorry, not Vishaka. Lakshmi, can you just unmute this from your side, so that I'll just uh, cut this off, right?
yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
Can you hear me, Lakshmi, now? Lakshmi?
Srinath, it was me who was asking you, Trupti.
Yeah, Trupti, please go on.
Hello.
Sorry, I thought you said it was Lakshmi. Yes, I was a bit confused. How did you, when you went to edit page and then you just clicked on web part, and then you added those parts which you created? Could you
Hmm?
just explain that again?
Okay, you want me to
Sorry.
explain again? No problem, no issues. Okay,
Yes, please.
let me just, okay, just no problem. Let me just do one thing. Let me just go and delete everything. I'll show you something. I'll show you how to do that. Not a problem. Okay. Right. Now let me just go back to browse, and now, so till here we had some fresh page, right? So how to add a web
Okay.
part is, you have to go to, you first have to go to the page where it is completely, wherever you want to add some components, right? And from there you have to go to
Okay.
site actions and edit page. Fine. Now
Right.
when you
Right.
go to edit page, automatically it will show two default web parts, which is,
Hello.
yeah, hello Lakshmi, can you hear me? Hi Lakshmi,
Is it disconnect?
can you hear me, Lakshmi? Yeah, Lakshmi, can you hear me? Lakshmi, can you hear me? Hello. Yeah, if you can hear me, you can just type in so that if you have any question, you can just type in here so that I can understand from there, right? Yeah. So yeah, we got two panes like left pane and right pane, right? Where you have two different
Right.
web parts, right? Is it disconnected? No.
Hello.
Yeah, Lakshmi, let you connect from Skype anyways, okay? Not a problem. You
But
can
Team viewer is also connected. I don't know. I am not able to hear you.
no
What
problem.
you
You
are
can
saying.
just mute that. Anyways, we'll just connect from here. So you can just mute that,
Let
huh?
me
Okay.
speakers right now.
Yeah. So Trupti's question was to explain back how actually we add a web part, right? Again. So
Okay.
okay, fine. Trupti, you are here now, Trupti?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, fine. Sure. So here whenever you edit some page, it will give you all possible web parts. If your page is completely blank, it will give you two web parts, which is left and right, right? Now, if you want to add web part, you have to click on this. There is a link, right? Click on this. When you click on
Okay,
this,
first add web.
exactly. I've clicked here actually, right? I have clicked here. I'm actually clicking on this, right? When you click on this,
Right.
everything else will be popped up here. Fine. Fine. So when it pops up, what happens is here, so you can see here whatever libraries you have created or pictures, everything you have created, it will come under libraries and lists, which you can see here, right? So let us say I want to add some course. I'll add something. Click on add. Now your courses has been added, right? And again you have one more web part here, because you can again click on this. If you want to add some batches, you can add, because we have added batches, and where you can see something called batches here and courses here, right? Right, Trupti, any doubt again here? You have got any,
No, no,
right?
I'm okay. I'm following.
Yeah, superb. Yeah. So if you want this batch, if you want the codes to be on top, what you can do is you can just click on this, drag into some other web part. It will go here, right? Your courses is here now. Fine. So in the same way, if you want to change this, let me stop editing here. Okay. So if you want to edit this list, you can go to list here, modify view, right? I just want to hide something here, right? You can just click unhide overview and click OK, right? So what happens here? Your courses and batches are there, right? So I hope from here you understood, right? If you want to add item, you can directly add item, and this will be added to your codes, even to the actual codes, right?
Right. No, I understood.
Yeah. There is some disturbance, Lakshmi. It seems it is some disturbance is here. Yeah.
No, no, no. I'm sitting here.
Okay, fine. So now you
Don't
understood
move.
here, right? So if you want to add something, you can directly add it from here, or even if you directly go to courses, I mean, which is a web part here, mm, right? Even from there, it will be added. Fine. So now I was what Lakshmi's question was, how to add a content web part. Content in
Content.
this, yeah, like where we can actually write a story of what this page is doing, right? In the same way, you have to go to site actions, edit page, right? Where again you will get something called web part. Anyways, you will be all your no already existing web parts will be retained here. And if you want to have some content, click on add web part. Again, I clicked on it. When I click on it, you will be getting all categories. So in categories, I just went to media and content. I selected something called,
Okay.
okay, content editor here, right? Now can you see this add web part 2? It doesn't matter wherever you have clicked, actually you can select from here. Let me say I have clicked on left, that's why my default was left. Let me say I want it on right, right?
Okay.
And click on add. Can you see it went to right here, right? And click on this, just say that's something, this is info something, right? You can write some something here. Fine. And just go to page and stop editing, right? So now you can see everything here, courses, content editor, everything. Fine. And in the same way, if you want to minimize all, I was just explaining, click on this, minimize, click on this, minimize, and click on this and minimize. Fine. So now it's more clear here. Now what happens now, if you want anything, you can just go and do something. Now you can see here, restore is to, I mean, again, close will actually delete your web part, so be careful, right? But anyways, you can find them in can you see this, sorry, close. If you can still find in closed web part section, inside in the ribbon, you have something, you can go and unhide this anyways. But the thing is, if you do this, you have to go back and check all content again. Fine. So now let me just, can you see this export here? Right, export is nothing. If you have some this export will come to some web contents actually. Let me just restore this, and let me just restore this so that you can see what actually I'm doing, right? If you export this one, which means all the content will be exported, and you can use the same thing in some other page. Fine. So that is how this export is different from if you are adding something like, let me add one more thing. I was about to add something like itil doclib, and which is again add, right? So I got it here, right? Which is, I just want it to be at end of my this. What happened here? Close program. Oops, something got crashed. Okay, fine, not a problem. We just got it again. Fine. So what I want is, I want this doclib to be at at the end of my all web parts, which is, let me just take it out here. Fine. Just stop editing. Okay. So now I have. So here we have already seen something like in documents. Oops. I think someone is moving here and there. It's creating so much of noise. Can you just
No.
yeah, some. Okay, fine, sure, not a problem. So here in doc library, okay, in document library, we have already seen something like you can do one thing. All three of you can just mute up, so that if you have any question, you can just unmute, so that everything else can hear more clearly. Just mute up your team viewers or Skype piece, right? Yeah. So what I was just making you understand is, yeah, it's much better now. We have already understood something called document library, right? In document library, we can do something like versioning and all. So even if you have added some part here, so when we went to list, we have seen, say, like you can add an item, you can modify the view, you can actually touch upon everything, you can delete an item directly from here. In the same way, if it comes to document library, you can do everything whatever we used to do there, which means you can actually check out, right? You can actually maintain the versioning here. Everything can be done from here itself. So whatever you do from here will be affected again directly with the document library. So that's how it actually works, right? So even, which means always keep in mind that all your web parts, data part will be directly connected to the source, but not the view. View is something which is independent of whatever is a source. Source contains some view, and you want now what happened, we are losing you, I don't know. So can you guys hear me now? So Mohammed, are you there? Trupti, can you just confirm me whether you can hear me? I don't know, I'm very clear here, right? Okay, fine. Yeah, because I'm in my office room actually, in my home. I'm talking from a closed room where I don't have any other signal problems. Yeah. Okay, fine, not a problem. So now you can hear me, right? No. So that is what we have something called web parts, and how to add web parts, and how actually to work with each and every web part, right? So we have just seen some concept of web part here. we'll move on with advanced topics in web parts, how to how differently we can whenever you go to page and edit something, right, how actually we can use when you click on add web part, right, there are so many things here, right, can you see here, there are so many things, right. So let me just stop editing here. I just wanted to give one more thing here. So now here I said if we have closed something, right, let me just close this. In IT doc clip we have closed something, close from here, which means it feels that it is disappearing, which means actually it disappears from here. And if you want to re-enable this to the end user again, you have to go back to closed forms, which I have already shown here now, and you have to enable that. So how to do that again? Again click on edit page, right, and again go to add web part, right, can you see here close web parts, we have closed something called IT doc clip, right, just click on add again, right, again it come to the same thing over here, just click on this and drag to the end, right, and stop editing, you'll get the same thing back again. So why we have to get the same thing back? Because we already have a source, right, we already have a source where we can get it from there. But remember guys, we when we change view of this particular doc clip, this view will be saved only for this web part, not to the source one, right. So that's why you have to make sure to restore the web part itself instead of going back to the source library. Fine. So that's why they have provided something called closed forms. So in our next classes you will be learning about how actually we can do use these things, some of these things anyways, right, in media content, how to use different viewers. And Silverlight again comes with your .NET. Again Silverlight is actually for video bufferings and all. We'll be seeing some components of how to do all these things, right. And my question was like, I'll be taking up tomorrow's session for by developing something in .NET. Again, it's a very simple one, not to worry. And I'll be showing how actually to give to actually connect between Visual Studio. Visual Studio is nothing but a IDE, integrated development environment for writing .NET applications. Fine. So we have something called Sharepoint connectors from .NET, and you can actually connect your Sharepoint site, whatever you can see here, Sharepoint server again. You can actually connect to the site whatever you want, and you can create different web parts for that, right? Because whatever you are seeing is again something which you have configured already. We'll be touching upon something else from there, which is again a bit important for a developer. Fine. So that's how we'll be working with web parts, and we'll be seeing some new features in web parts. Actually when actually we enter into coding part, that will be more interesting anyways. So how to add different things like text box, how to get a pop-up, how to get how to if, when you enter something into text box, how button works, right, how actually we can design that web part, and you can include that web part in between these web parts, right, how to interact within those things and all. Fine. So that is one part, and I wanted to show you something else. Yes, one more thing here. See, we have created these lists in parallel, right? If you can remember, we have created these things in parallel: courses, facilities, and batches, right? Again, even if you have added something called batches and courses, doesn't matter, the data part will be still connected. If you remember, we have added ASP.NET today, right? That's why it is showing something called new. We have added this today. Now let me go and see whether this ASP.NET under course is being added to batches or not. Let me just click on this, right? Let me go. Yeah, we can see here, right? We can see that ASP.NET is been added. Fine. Now there are only 4, which is like I have 4 courses because I have only 4 courses here. Let me go and add one more new item, which is something like let me just go and say Android software, and let me take it up for 45 days of this is Android mobile app codes, right, and some sorry and something in here, right, and just say it's some $600 and just save it up. Right now you have got that Android over here. Now let me go and check out here whether it has been added or not. Right, you can see here all the 5 courses have been added, right? So data part will be, that will still be connected in between your course and your batch, right? So now, so we have created something like batch here, right, where we have connected them some codes. So let me go back to this list again. Let me show you something else here. Let me edit something. So list settings again. So this settings is for batches. Let me go back to something called codes here, codes column here. Let me check out whether there is an option. Yeah, there is an option here, right? Can you see this? We have already learned this one, relationship, right? So as we have something called cascade delete, that's why we were able to delete something in codes even if it is connected to batch, right? Now let me do something called restrict delete, right, and click on OK, and it will ask for something for indexing. Now let us go back to Info Institute. Now let us see what happens. See, here we have something called let us take upon some, let me add something new, which is some Android, which we have added now. Let me take it up as some batch 5 something, and from York, right, and Android faculty. Let me add some faculty 2 3, because these items are coming from faculty table, right? And let me give some starting date as from tomorrow maybe, and just click on save. Right, we got an Android because it is already there. Now let me go and click on Android delete item. Or if you want to delete them, okay. Can you see this? The item cannot be deleted because an item in batch is related to codes, because what we have done is we have indexed a codes to a batch. So that's why without batch table, without this batch list permission, you will never be able to delete a codes. Fine, that is again nothing but what you are creating, something called index. We have created index of this. Fine, now let's go back. Let us see. You cannot see any codes which is on ASP.NET, right? Now let us go and delete ASP.NET. Let us see what happens. Delete item. Okay. Can you see? It is being deleted. Why? Because we are not using that particular course in here. Fine. So that's why there is no index being created for that record. Right. So remaining everything we have used. We have used Java. We have used Sharepoint. We have used C#.NET and everything. Just go and see what happens to Sharepoint. Let's delete this item again. If you want to delete, yes, okay. See, again it is right. Now you understood that. So that's why I have just created one more thing, which is Android. I just wanted to show you what happens if you delete something called ASP.NET. Fine. So all these parts will directly work from your page, right? We are not going to some courses like back to something called batches, back to faculties again. No, we have created some smart way to interact between all these things, which is nothing but Info Institute, right? And from in this page we have created different web parts, and from there itself we are doing something called interacting between different lists, and you can do the same thing between different documents also. Fine. So you have any doubts in this, guys? Muhammad, Trupti and Lakshmi, you have any doubts in this till this part? Yeah, I hope you have learned something here, like what is a web part, right? How actually we can work on this. I'll share you this video, just try it out. Fine. And if you, anyways, even if you don't have .NET, and even if you are not looking for something like programming, but let me take up the class for how actually we can connect with the Visual Studio, which is an editor for .NET, and connect it with the SharePoint, right? We'll do it tomorrow afresh. Fine, Mohammed. Yeah, I hope that will be again fun to see how actually it connects back. Again, don't worry, you don't have to do much of programming. A simple programming knowledge will do, and you just have to have some basic .NET knowledge again, which you will gain once you enter into real time. But basic thing is you should know how to connect a Visual Studio project with a SharePoint. that will be fun. I'll show you how to do that, and we'll do some things on how exactly to connect them and how to deploy them right in the same IS, and how to make work on this site directly, right? We'll see those things, right, because that is again very important, and we'll improve that program by we'll create a small web part tomorrow, and we'll improve that to some bigger things, right? How actually to we can move on with different things on it. Fine.
Yep.
So that will be all for today. I don't want to confuse you guys by starting Visual Studio now, right? We'll just take up that tomorrow, and I hope it will be again. You'll learn something on .NET again. If you want some basic introduction, I'll give you the basic. Yeah, Lakshmi. So I can give you basic introduction of .NET. Yes, please. Who is this? Like I need to ask. Yeah. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you, Trupti. Can you just be louder? I am not able to hear you. No, not a problem. Not a problem. Once we are done with this class, I'll see what is happening. Right? Not a problem. Okay. So Lakshmi, Mohammed, and Trupti. So let's wind up here, right? And I'll show you this video. Guys, do one thing. Today, just give me 3 hours so that I'll be uploading that video after my one more session is there, right? And you can take up so that let me clear that folder so that copy all the videos into your directory. That's why I'm retaining the date even so that you can understand on which date it is happening, right? Just copy each and everything from there, and for you, Lakshmi, let me just give you some link to open that. Fine.
Okay.
And
So
Mohammed,
give me some. I will copy
yes, Mohammed.
everything. I was saying that give me 2 minutes and I will copy everything.
I'm not able to hear your voice. Can you just be more?
Let me just type.
Yeah, sure. Because it's oh, okay. No, it's okay. You can take the whole day. Once you are done tomorrow in tomorrow class, just tell me that all have copied. Then I'll delete. Not a problem. I'll not delete now. No issues. Take your own time to copy the video, right? Not a problem. No, no. What why I'm saying this is you'll be confused which video is of which date. So that's why I just wanted to clear it up. That's it. That's the only reason. Not much. Fine. Take your time. Once you are done with copying all you 3 people, then I'll delete. Not a problem. Oh, it's much of echo being coming, but I don't know why it is coming. I'm sorry. So okay then, let's wind up here. Let me just stop recording. Right.